I'm up way too late, but that's because I've got bad habits. And there's just one section here that I want to touch on because it got a beautiful reaction out of me.
Plus, it would get him out of this whole conversation. And I cannot undersell how much Jax's voice actor, Michael Kovac, crushes it here.
You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
Bitch, you don't even believe that yourself.
You feel every venomous barb, every ounce of pain in his voice as he tries to drive Pomni away and commit to this self-flagellating shtick. Taking it from low blows to hell, telling Pomni that he would forget her and move on if she were to abstract tomorrow, which is her greatest fear and the thing he knows will hurt her the most. I honestly thought that Pomni was going to turn that on herself right here as, F you to Jax.
Honestly, I thought the same. Not gonna lie.
But instead, she throws hands.
Fight back! Are you crazy?
Before that,
yes!
we do see Jax fighting the urge to console her and instead he wants to be nice here. He wants to, he knows what he just said is wrong, but he can't let it out. He cannot let himself care, so he defaults to being a dick, saying that she can't take a joke, which given how Gangle's language is so reflective of, abusive relationships, romantically, friend-wise, I still say this is an abusive relationship, saying that,
oh yeah,
it's just a joke thing, perfect. As he really is that guy. But while Pomni is beating his ass, he just doesn't fight back. He can't bring himself to hurt her, and I feel like he's also just shocked by Pomni reacting like this, as he is so used to people not caring about him, to just blow him off and to walk away, which would allow him to keep living in denial. When Pomni is bringing the heat, he's just trying to hold her back, and despite everything he just said and how he's been hunting down the rest of them like they were prey, he does care about Pomni. She means something to him, even if he wants to deny it with every fiber of his being.
Yep.
And denial is a huge part of Jax's character, as he doesn't want to acknowledge all of his trauma, he doesn't want to acknowledge all of his pain, and he doesn't want to acknowledge how he feels about all the people he's lost up until this point. Which, with this idea in mind, I think it does really recontextualize an earlier scene that was played off as mostly a joke, as we did see Jax freak out about, his tail disappearing, even though we have never seen him with one. This is hilarious, it's weird, it's out of nowhere, but Jax did seem actually perturbed by this revelation. But given the recent context, I kind of have a new theory about what's going on here. That Jax losing his tail is symbolic of just his refusal to look back. He wants to
honestly, that would be quite interesting.
Live in the moment, torturing the others, refusing to more acknowledge the past even as he is haunted by it. Hence, he's begun to start losing sight of himself, as he tries to default to this jerk trickster archetype, hence him losing his tail. As if we believe that abstraction is a form of self-manifestation, of a mental break so great that people lose sight of themselves, then we can take this idea of characters changing their physical form one step further. Kinger in this episode was able to affect the world by creating these health butterflies. Just through sheer rule of cool, was able to do an impossible shot. Ragatha used Toon Force to blast Jax's bullet right back at him. This could be a sign that characters do affect the world around them, they just don't realize it.
Yes. That's the one thing I love about this episode, is how it plays into the idea of the characters themselves not knowing they have influence over this world, even if it's not to the same degree as Cain. Because even if Jax is a manipulative but toxic bastard who is denying every ounce of feeling he has, he was honest when it comes to the Toon logic. Match the world's vibes, and suddenly the absurd becomes reasonable.
Then it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for Jax, who wants so badly to deny parts of himself that he ends up losing a piece in the process, hence the missing tail. which mysteriously returns this episode. And I wonder if this has to do with him opening up to Pomni initially, so given what just happened, he might lose it in the next. Now, when everyone meets up again, Pomni and Ragatha are that like, oh yeah, we're gonna need to talk after this. Ragatha just wants to apologize for how she was acting, and Pomni just is like, I need to talk about Jax. Meanwhile, the bunny boy is hanging in the back, refusing to interact with the others, as he is ashamed, and he's also having a panic attack as he rushes into the bathroom.
God, you look stupid.
Everyone does at some point in their life. Yourself and you start going easier on yourself, dumbass. You're just another one amongst billions. You're not special. That means you're not alone.
I did think he was abstracting right here, but the deep irony
Fuck off with that scene. Right there, just fuck off.
really hits when after all his talk of being the funny one, he just looks in the mirror and says he looks ridiculous. Because he doesn't believe this shit, but he needs to so badly as he thinks that's the only way to stay sane in this world, when clearly it isn't working.
Yeah. No, there's no healing in Wonderland or Neverland. There's no healing in pretending if all you do is fill that pretending with the void. In an attempt to ignore what should actually sit there.
He may try to deny it, but Jax is hurting, and Pomni sees it. And this isn't an excuse for any of his behavior and the mental harm he's caused everyone else.
Nope!
And I cannot believe that this actually needs to be said. There were so many great moments in this episode, but after a point, I would just be listing them all off and saying, oh, that was so cool. Oh, naturally, if I didn't bring it up, just assume I loved it, especially a duet and Kinger being a badass.
Oh, I fucking called it that Kinger would end up having shot himself with his own ultimate.
So Jack shot Pomni, and I feel like that very much plays into how he accidentally harms those around him. Enough about that. It's probably going to be its own video. I think the thing that really puts this whole episode above and beyond for me is the writing. We've seen these characters come such a long way from episode 1, where they did feel like archetypes with hints of how they were coping in the digital circus. But here we are 6 episodes later, and we see so much of them. We see them healing, finding friends, sharing the burden of being trapped here, with it only being those who are pushing others away that are now suffering. Jax is one bad day away from having a full-blown abstraction. Kane may just be a computer program, but he is trapped in here just like everyone else.
Oh yeah.
Jax and Kane both suffer because they are unable to connect with the others, and that is driving them to madness.
That is what lies on the other side of the apathy line. Self-destructive madness. I really do hope that things change, even if it's just a little. Even if it's just a little.
There's always so much going on with the show, but it never feels like too much. It is perfectly paced with jokes, quiet moments, and everything in between. I may have been slow to get on the hype train for this show, but let it be known that I will sing the fuck out of its praises. Also, I need to really update this title as it's super out of date. Also, I mainly did because I figured someone else who was meaner would want to use it one day. Episode 3 was perfect, but I think this episode is my new favorite. Gooseworks
Oh,
is
yeah.
it, and I cannot wait to see where this series goes next. Alright, this has been Sarcastic Chorus. Hello. Subscribe. That's about it. Love you all. Peace out. Also, tell me what you thought down below.
They make good
I have a second
videos,
channel.
by
I will
damn.
figure out what I'm really doing with it, but for the moment, I did a reaction video to Fixed. If you're interested.
What in the fuck? Yeah, no, I hope you all have a good night. I'm done reacting to the internet. Kinger can heal. I'm not so sure it's specifically just healing. But if it's more that in the midst of his insanity, Kinger understands the logic of illogic and is able to manifest stuff just as much as any of the others. This game can influence your will, but that also means that your will can influence this game. Don't lose your minds out there, please. And if you do, at least hold tight to your heart. Even if it hurts. Even if it hurts.